Hi everybody and welcome to another TABI Tarot Live with me, Janine. I am the chair of TABI, and this evening I've got the great pleasure of welcoming on Martyn from Martyn's Curiosities. And Martyn is a tarot deck reviewer. In fact, he's one of the biggest tarot deck reviewers here in the UK. Also reviews oracle decks as well, oracle books, tarot books. So it'll be really good to get him on and to have a chat about his process. And I'm just going to invite him on. Thanks so much for joining. There you are. Hello and welcome.
Hello, Janine. How are you? Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Thank you for coming on. It's lovely to see you. It's been a while since we spoke, hasn't it?
It has. It's last summer or something, summer before, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It has been. Yeah, gosh, it's been over a year.
It's just lovely to be here. When you sent me, Claire, said, do you want to come on? I thought, you know what, this is lovely because I'm always like doing interviewing and, it's just really, really sweet. So thank you.
I know because, so one of the things that you're known for is your YouTube channel, and you've got a huge following on there, and you review oracle decks, review tarot decks, but I believe you review books as well. So
I do, yeah. It kind of started out. When was it? Last January, not January, about a year and a half ago. Yeah.
I thought it'd been going for longer than that.
No, it's been about a year and a half. I decided to I thought to myself, you know what, I wanted to do something different. And, I thought I've been around for a long time and, Instagram was getting a bit stale. And I thought, I'm just going to bite the bullet and start a YouTube channel. And I did. And I absolutely love doing what I do.
Well, you've got a fantastic following then in such a short space of time, and everybody seems to know you on an international level. So people are sending you decks as well from across Europe, aren't they? From the United States.
I did put an ad out when I first started, and because in the UK, as you know, we're only a small island. People think that the UK is London. It's not. As we both know, And so I put an ad up. Anybody from the UK wants some deck reviews or Europe? And I says, I'm just starting a YouTube channel. And I did, people started messaging me I'd never heard of, like Trisha Murray from Precious Twigs. And, we got Naomi McCormack as well. And, it just opened up like this lovely kind of, this deck is really special and it's been overlooked for so long. And so that's how it kind of started. And I've been reviewing for Rockpool for about 3 years over on my...
Right, okay.
Yeah, and I don't review for US Games or Llewellyn, just Rockpool and independent creators. And that's it, it's just opened up my whole world, and I've made some really, really, really strong friendships through doing what I do and, being involved in the community. You know what it's like, what you do. And I just love it, Janine, I really do.
Because you got your own little tarot community there as well, and I see a lot of people coming on, and everybody knows you.
Yeah,
it becomes a bit like a family in a way, doesn't it?
It does, and it all started back in COVID times, when me and Levi from Masculine Intuition Readings, we were friends anyway, and everybody, COVID was a difficult time for so many people, as we know. And like we said, you know what? Shall we just hop on a live on a Wednesday? It was like a fooling around thing. And then what happened was everybody was saying, "Oh my God, we look so forward to your Wednesdays," and so it become a thing for about 12, 18 months. And we're like a duo, we're like a double act, and that's when we started doing lives, and that's when we started. Levi had already got his own YouTube channel. And then that's when I started mine. And I thought, you know what? It's just brilliant. And I love the way things have unfolded in the community.
And that's how I found you as well. It was during times of COVID. And I think it was one of the witching and bitching sessions. Or did that come later?
That was the witching and bitching. That's what we used to call Always Stuck, yeah. And every Wednesday from 7 till 8 o'clock. And people was messaging us and saying, "Oh, will you talk about this?" And we used to give free card readings out, and it become like this huge like international family thing, where like we connected with people from everywhere, all walks of life, and yeah, it was just really, really lovely. Special times in really difficult times. Yeah.
Yeah, and you must get regular publisher packages. Do they send them out to you?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Paul has said I've recently had a couple from now. I don't know what the publisher's called, Union Square, and
Ah,
it's a subsidiary of something else. I think
is it a new one? I've not heard of that one.
I don't know. Kate Taylor from Creative Living.
Oh, right,
She's
okay.
Magic Deck. And I actually interviewed Kate over on my YouTube in the winter last year. So yeah, I'm
So,
Moran.
Ran, it's in Manchester.
He's my
Yeah,
friend,
yeah.
just good. And
Mm.
and yeah, I've had a few. Some Beyond Worlds is another one, I think.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and I got sent. You know about the hard, didn't you, with the metaphysical cannabis oracle? So like, yeah,
Ah, yes. Oh gosh, do you know I've forgotten all about that, but that's
yeah.
another thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was as well. So that is the downside.
Mm.
That is the downside of like reviewing decks as well. There can be a downside to it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I wanted to ask you about that. What your process, if you really like a deck, obviously you can be very enthusiastic and
Yeah.
positive, but if you don't like a deck, but how do you go about
It's really
presenting?
well. The thing is, when say a creator approaches me, if I'm not keen on the deck, I'll refuse point blank to review it. I'll say thanks for
Okay.
offer, but like it's not really my thing, and I'm quite honest about it. So there's no way I would just say yeah, I'll review your deck and just completely slate it and pick it apart and be totally unkind. I would never do that. But with the publishers, obviously, they're sending out promotional copies, so they really want your honest opinion.
Okay.
So I am very honest, as you know that.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them YouTubers who will sit there gushing over anything. If something's a little bit problematic or something is like, why was this like kind of like created into an oracle deck or a tarot deck, I will say.
Mhm.
The same as that one we just spoke about. It was very problematic. And I've also had some as well from, main publishers where I've thought, I've messaged the publisher and said, you know what, this is kind of not really supposed to be a deck. And, I have said, but like, I mean, 9 times out of 10, I do keep it nice, There ain't very often, it's not very often like I will kind of like really, really go mad, like, you know, because at the end of the day, it's somebody's work, and you've got to try and keep it. I try to keep it middle,
Yes.
without saying mind. Yeah. So, but it is difficult sometimes. It has been in the past, yeah.
And it might be something that you see, but they've not even thought about, because when
It
you're
is. Yeah.
focusing really closely on something, you might miss something that's very obvious to everybody else. So like
Yeah.
a rounded view is really important, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, with it, the toxic positivity like movement and and the twin flame thing and all that, Dexam just like brought out, and you think there's absolutely no thought gone into these or so with certain publishers now I can actually choose or I want to review. So
Right. Okay.
oh shit, we better like give Marty, just in case, like, so yeah, I really do, yeah. And obviously it saves me like, I mean, I know mass market decks only like anything between £12 and £16, but if it's nice, you've saved yourself like £16 just for the sake of a 25-minute review. So yeah, it works out nice.
How much of your week do you dedicate to your deck reviewing then?
That depends how many I've got to review.
Okay.
I backlog ones at the
Yeah.
minute. One, because I'm having trouble reading the fonts on one of them.
Right.
Uh, and secondly, at the time factor as well. I do kind of like to keep on top of everything, and I haven't actually reviewed any Kickstarter decks for a while.
Okay.
Because I think, Janine, I don't know whether you find it as well now. The tarot has become that saturated, and I'm turning decks down because I'm thinking, well, no, that's kind of what similar to what I reviewed 2 weeks ago. Um, and what you've got to take into consideration as well is a lot of people haven't always got the money to back Kickstarter decks.
Yeah.
So if I'm kind of like reviewing something which has kind of been sent to me by the creator,
Yeah.
and like it's got a price tag of £80 upwards,
Oh, wow.
it can work out expensive. Plus that, the shipping on top of that, because 9 times out of 10 they're not in the UK. So I do, and I feel quite sad for people saying, "Oh, that's nice," but like, I mean, I could never afford that. And I'm thinking, well, I'd rather just keep it now, where I do like affordable. Um, if you've noticed some of my reviews lately, they've been on mass market decks. I like to keep it open and accessible to everyone. You know, I'm not a deck snob. I think there's really excellent mass market decks. I think there's really excellent indie decks, and like, that's the way it is. And that's it. Really.
I wanted to ask you about that because at one point I think you were only reviewing indie decks.
Oh,
Uh, yeah.
at the one time I was just reviewing decks from LGB creators.
Mm.
Because obviously, within the community, there's always these little kinds of like pockets of people who always get overlooked. And I especially was like looking for males because one, there's not many very many gay male decks, kind of geared towards gay. And secondly, it's predominantly women within the community, which I love anyway, don't get me wrong. But, males in the tarot community do tend to get overlooked in their work. Um, but then I said, does anybody want to collaborate? The biggest mistake I ever did was at that particular time, I thought, I had this brainwave and I thought, you know what, to do a gay tarot deck, I'm crap at drawing. So I picked that up and stuff, and I said, does anybody want to collaborate?
You
Like,
did, yes.
yeah, it was the biggest mistake ever
Oh
because
no.
I think I don't know what concept of collaboration kind of like missed the point. But I was getting all these inboxes, all these DMs
Okay.
with pictures, and I thought that isn't the way I wanted to collaborate. And I wanted artists, and yeah, I think people got the wrong idea. But
Ah, okay.
yeah, it was fun though, but it was like, yeah, so I kind of shelved that idea. And I just thought, well, you know what, I'm just, like really minimizing my audience, and so I thought, well, I'll just open it up to everyone now. So that's the way it's gone from there.
And what's happened around getting your Instagram account reopened? Has
Oh,
there anything come back from that?
no, I cannot. A few days before my Instagram, I was unable to sign into my Instagram. Everything was like kind of on my Instagram, on my iPad. I tried it on my MacBook and phone. I thought that's strange, and I was messaging saying, "Is your Instagram glitchy?" And I was saying no. And this was like about 24 hours, 48 hours after I joined Threads.
Right.
So it was about June time. And so then what happened was, I got kicked out and I was unable to sign in. I messaged Instagram on numerous occasions, no reply, nothing in my email, because apparently they only email you back now if you're verified with the blue tick.
Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
bit of a pain, really. But 8 years of hard work, and I just thought to myself, if it had been a couple of years ago, I'd have been so upset. And I just thought to myself, and I thought, well, you know what, this is obviously time to go, and time to kind of do something different. So that's when I started with the dolls,
yeah.
um, and then like my tarot as well. And it was like, I don't know, after a while, Janine, after 8 years of hard work and stuff, and then you think, I've kind of had enough of this. So I'm glad it happened at the time, and I've started again. And people who know me follow me, and I don't feel as though I've lost out on anything anyway. So yeah,
And how are you doing with the dolls? Because the doll creation's amazing. I love those. Do you
love
make
it.
all of those yourself?
All of
Yeah.
them, yeah. It was just an idea, and in the springtime, and it just, obviously I've got imposter syndrome, and I thought, oh, okay, then I'm just going to upload it, so what people say. and I'd never had no experience in textiles or anything. It was due to a dream I had actually,
Oh, was
and
it? Wow.
yeah, and so it's all kind of like unfolded from there. So it kind of took me out the tarot for a while, and I was just like concentrating on the dolls. But yeah, I still do commissions now, but I don't make a bunch of them like I was doing before because I haven't got the time anymore.
You got a website with those?
I have,
Yeah.
not active at the moment. So
Okay.
if anybody wants to talk to me about a doll, they can kind of like contact me via the link in my bio.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Right, so this is what I wanted to ask you about. So if anybody wants to come to you with a deck for review,
Yeah.
what would be the things that you'd advise them? What are the things that you think really stand out in a deck that people should put in?
Right. Okay. First of all, it has to be based on I would prefer a deck to be based on a system, and that can be like the Thoth, the Marseille, or the Rider-Waite-Smith. Nine
Okay.
and it's the Rider-Waite-Smith, and that's fine. I turned down so many clones, and you have to be. Sometimes you have to say I'm sorry because if it's not, I like uniqueness. One of my most unique decks I've just recently acquired, the new deck by Tricia Murray, which is called, and I forgot, the sweet full the full something full remembered tarot
Okay.
anyway. Yeah, and it is incredible. It's very kind of minimal, a little bit abstract, but still based on the Rider-Waite-Smith. I can tell there's a lot of work in it. So this gets me on to uh, vanity projects and things like that, like
Okay.
and decks that are decks because for the sake of like making a deck. I can see
Okay.
right through that, Janine.
Yeah.
I've always been able to see straight through that. What's the money making? A bit of a money scam spinner thing, and I can always tell who's put the heart and soul into something, rather than somebody like knocking it up in a couple of weeks. And that's important because if I personally, for me, if I don't have a feel of something from that person's work, well, I'm not going to use it. I've got many decks, that I haven't used, even though they are beautiful. I've always passed on, because I kind of stick to the same old ones.
Yeah, it's the same with my collection as well. I always tend to go back. I've got loads. I've got so many decks, but then I'll use the same ones time and time again.
Am I? Yeah.
And every so often, a new one will come in, and it's got to really grab me. And it might not grab somebody else, but if I get it, I know that I love it because I've taken it with me to the festivals,
Yeah.
and I'm using it for all my readings, and then it'll go into my favorite pile. But it's got to have some very and it's hard to get that uniqueness because that uniqueness is different for each person, isn't it? Whether it's the colours or the style of the cards.
I mean, I used,
yeah.
very, because like, I mean, sometimes, I don't know about, like, sometimes I like a deck with a little bit of occultism in it. Sometimes I like a animal deck,
Yeah.
depending on my mood. But say if I do read for somebody who's never had the tarot before, or I kind of like say use something like the Bonfire Tarot or the Star, what's it called? The Star Tarot.
Yeah.
That one.
Is that the Starman Tarot? The
No, the Star
Oh, right,
Tarot,
okay.
by Kathy McClelland, I think it is, or McLeland.
Oh,
That's a really nice one.
right, okay.
And I also always extensively use Danielle Noel's decks as well, the
Mm-hmm.
Star Child Tarot, the Moon Child, because that's really my vibe. I come across as like, oh yeah, Martyn's like, into Aleister Crowley and all that. I am, but I've got I've got like this side
I
of me where,
didn't know that.
yeah, I am, yeah, because I used to use the thought for years and years and years, and
Oh,
I've managed to work. But I have got this side of me which is a bit like kind of like away with the fairies, and I like all the ethereal stuff and everything like that. It's just so lovely, and so I like to look proper Scorpio Moran. Exactly. I like,
you
yeah,
stole it because I was gonna get the Scorpio,
yeah,
but
it is.
I remember you telling me last time.
Deep
Yeah.
and dark, and then I've got this side. But I do like to look at a deck, Janine, and get transported somewhere else.
Yeah. You got the
With my life.
Housewives tarot deck, haven't you? It's
I
one of
love
your favourites.
it.
I
Is,
thought
yeah, yeah,
it was, yeah.
yeah,
Where
yeah.
does that transport you then? Yeah.
It's the 1950s. It's real. It's camp. It's kids.
It's a
It's fun.
great one,
It's
yeah.
like tongue in
Yeah.
cheek, but it gives like incredible readings. It's the same with the the one the guys did, the zombie tarot.
Yeah.
Uh, even though it's meant to be, even though they're both meant to be, I think, kind of novelty decks. They are absolutely brilliant. And I am an housewife, Martyn, so. So I do honestly like to be transported. If something can transport me to another place, that's kind of like definitely something in that deck, you know.
Do you meditate with the cards then? So you go, do you
I
use
have
to
done
go
breath
into the card?
working
Yeah.
times, yeah, with the cards, especially with Star Child Tarot and the Moon Child Tarot.
Mm.
And decks are like that, you know, where you've got all these kind Atlantean looking, you know, things and stuff, and Lemuria,
Yeah.
and it just takes me to another place. And I wished I could live in a world like that, you know.
Yeah, I just think there's something magical about having cards to work with. And there's so many people out there that haven't got a clue what it's all about, and they go, "What do you do with these?" And I'm like, "How do you not know?"
It's right, in it, you know. It is right. I mean, I haven't got a clue either. It's just something. I don't know. A card can, one single card can help somebody so much, and you're
Yeah.
thinking, well, you know, put all the spiritual stuff aside, because you don't have to be spiritual if you're a tarot reader at all. You know, it is really, really magical. And I've always thought, well, I don't know where it works. It just works. I ain't got the answers to that review. You know, it just works, and as long as it works, you know, this is why me and you are here, and this is why the deck creators keep going. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
With my decks, like I don't tend to. Well, I don't tend to keep them in any particular order, which would offend quite a lot of people who are very protective about their decks. So then when I bring them back from the festivals, they've got bits of grass in there,
Oh, that's the
you know,
best way. Yeah, yeah. It is
bits of
the best.
glow paint on some of my decks as well, you know, where I've been reading late at
Yeah,
night and you've got people falling in from the rave tents that want
real.
that want
It is, yeah.
reading. So it all adds to the magic of them because they've got so many memories, and I think at some point I'm going to die, I'm going to pass these on anyway,
Yeah.
so what does it matter? Get as much memories and magic in them as possible.
I agree, because like, I mean, obviously I've got some decks that, you know, I very rarely take out of the box and they're in condition. But if I am buying a deck for myself, Janine, I want to buy that deck so I can use it, not just to look at it.
Yeah.
And I like, you know, if you've got that smudge on it, or, you know, there's a coffee stain on the back. I mean, I know some people will be absolutely fucking horrified. Um, or a coffee stain on it, you know, as you say, a bit of paint or something. That
Yeah.
brought you back to that place where you actually did that reading.
Yeah, I've got a couple of cards that have been bleached out by the sun, and it's
Oh,
actually in my soft deck. So, and it was during times of COVID. I like how we say that all Shakespearean, but I've left the Chariot card out on the top, so the back was all bleached. So it's the one card that's bleached out, it's difficult using the deck now because I know when that card's gonna come up, obviously.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
And
know.
then I've got cards that are missing from my decks, and you only find out when you reorder them, and I don't do that very often, but I've got about 6 cards missing from one of my decks.
That's
Where have they gone?
I know that to me. And you know what? I was absolutely gutted the other day, Janine. I can't show you
You
because
got one on the ceiling.
no. The other day, right? I've got this tendency. I've got these 3 IKEA shelves in front of me.
Right. Okay.
So I've got this tendency just to kind of open a deck, use it once, put it on the shelf.
Yeah.
So I thought, where are my I think the Sacred Lodge cards, and I thought, where are my Sacred Lodge cards? I thought, oh, I know where I put them. I put them up there. You know, I got them down, and I must have pulled a label off a parcel, so the cards was placed on the sticky side of the label. So there was about 5 cards, all like kind of splayed out, stuck to this label.
Oh
When I
no.
tried to take the label off, it was just ruined. So I thought,
Oh no, what a shame.
yeah, but it's my own fault for not putting them back up in the boxes. The deck now is obviously useless, so I'm going to have to buy it again. But you know, it is what it is, and I can always remember my next set when I get that. I remember buggering this first set up with a sticker. So yeah, so yeah,
It
it,
wasn't meant to be.
no, it wasn't meant to be. You know, it's probably saying, you know, you ain't using me, so you might as well throw me away anyway. So yeah, some of mine are absolutely battered. My first Thoth I had, my Morgan Greer as well, that's battered. My first Mother piece I had as well. Because they all the 3 of them take me right back to the late 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
So I
Lovely.
love memories attached to things. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I took my one of my first decks all around the world with me. I
Did you?
had my guitar that's up there and a pack of tarot cards, and I took them all around the world. Yeah, so they've got loads of memories with them.
Oh, that's nice. So, what's your favourite deck?
At the moment, I don't know. I have got one that I rather like, and it's for the colours. It's the Book of Shadows. Seen this one? Andre Asti.
Oh, yes, I have. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's gorgeous. Because it's the glossy cards. He's such a talented graphic artist, and
Oh,
the colours just pop on these cards. I can't believe I said that. That's something that my daughter would say.
well, I'll say it
Oh.
still.
Very
I,
I get told off for the things I say now. They say you can't say that, Mum, because you're like halfway now. Like, what, halfway to what? Yeah, you're nearly 45, Mum. You can't say the
I'll
word
say on
stop
my Instagram the
anymore.
colour pop on this deck, you know, so it must be a thing, Janine.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I'll have to have a proper look at that. That looks a bit like
gorgeous.
what was that deck by Liminal 11? Cosmic Slumber. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't see. I haven't seen that one.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's the sun.
Oh, that's nice, actually. Yeah, yeah, it's lovely.
I love it.
So,
Yeah. So
using is that like if you're anything like me, I find my soul deck every week, you know, and and I'm thinking, oh, this is the best deck ever. I ain't gonna order no more, and then the door knocks and it's the
yeah.
post.
I love it when you find a deck that you really love and you're doing your reviews as well, because you can tell your passion for it, because you just
Yeah, it doesn't happen
yeah.
very often. I mean, but you know, it does very, very occasionally. I
Yeah.
mean, I did a video with Levi up on Levi's YouTube the other day. And it's like, why TF did we buy this deck? And it was really funny. But you know, I'm
Do any of the people come on, when you're saying things like that, and it's their deck and they're like fall onto the chat or something like that?
I hope not. You know, it was mainly like mass market ones, and you know, obviously it's all personal and
Yeah.
opinion. I mean, you know, but think, well, you know, why did I buy that deck actually? Why did I use that? I mean, my favourite one this week, obviously, you notice I said this week, is the Bonfire version, the new one.
Oh, wow, that's gorgeous.
The borders of so the original had huge black borders on.
Is it shiny or is it matte?
No, it's matte and
Ooh.
it's on 350 GSM cardstock if anybody's a cardstock snob. So it's all very like tattoo art and everything. It's really, really gorgeous. I love it. And there's so much like kind of thing to get your intuitive hits from as well. That's a 301s if you can't make out what it
It's
is.
for pine cones, and apparently if you're camping, that's the best way to start a fire, with pine cones, isn't it?
There you go.
I'm on
Yeah.
fire. Oh.
Everything. It's mass market, you know, and it's republished by Red Feather Schiffer. And it is so lovely. I love the size of it and everything. And so this is now next week when you ask me, I'll say, "Oh, you know, I hate that deck, Janine. I'm gonna." It'll
But
be
Scorpios are consistent.
normally, yeah, it depends, yeah, but normally we are, yeah. But
Yeah.
what I am loving at the minute, and I am because this is like my kind of like vibe going on. And this is the Moon Dust Tarot. That's another mass market.
Look at those edges.
Just
Wow.
brought out. This is published by Watkins, as in Watkins Books Publishing.
Oh, that's nice.
It's I love it. It's very kind of soft and calming me down. Yeah, and this is what I love about it. But I buggered up the moon card, the sun card in this the other day because I put it in water.
Why did you do that?
Well, I was reading, doing a reading for my grandson, and I didn't realise like that he'd left like a mark off his mug on the table, so I put the sun card right in it, and it must have stayed
Oh,
10 minutes, so it was all swollen.
a
But I did
swollen sun.
swollen. I did write it out, and it has gone kind of okay-ish.
Yeah,
Um,
all right.
yeah, it ain't too bad, but yeah, I ain't bothered. It adds to the beauty. If you can only see, look when I put the C.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame because you've got the gilded edges and then you've got a damaged one. Oh.
Swollen sun. Great Bear Quills. Have ever either of you had a deck you disliked that came back to you later and you loved it?
That's Mark. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark. I have, yeah. Have you, Janine?
Have I ever had a deck I disliked? Oh, do you know what? I don't dislike anything or anybody. Like, no, that's not true. That's not true. I'm just trying to think of. Have you got one while I'm thinking?
I've had a few actually. I've rebought a few. One of them was the Lightseers Tarot.
Ah, I love that one. I've never stopped loving it though.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't like. So I gave like a copy away. I bought it again, and I gave that copy away, and I bought it again, and I've kept it. Yeah, so that was my main one. And
do you get the original one that has got the disputed cards? Because the Ten of Swords. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
oh,
Yeah.
I remember Chris being pulled apart actually online.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah,
It was the
yeah,
very first print run, but then she changed it. I mean, good on her. You know, she took on that constructive criticism, didn't she? And she went back
yeah.
and she did another print run. So
No, mine are the mass market ones that I've got. I've actually bought the tin one and one.
yeah.
And I took it to Newcastle with me in early autumn to do some readings for people.
Yeah.
And it just reads like a dream. It's a bit of
Doesn't it?
yeah, it's a bit of an no-brainer deck in it. You know, you can see exactly what you're reading,
Yeah.
what cards. You know, with this with that tattoo one, however, you know, because all the cards are kind of similar. You would have to look at the title on it. You know, you think the deck you could kind of like think, oh yeah, you know. So it is a bit similar.
Yes.
It's very much Rider-Waite-Smith. The Wild Unknown Tarot, Moran, that's my baby.
I like that one too.
That's one of my.
People get rid of it. Why?
I never, ever, ever got rid of it. I think I've got every version going of the Walden Knox. I used that extensively for like 2.5 years for readings with people. And Claire says, do you feel we should be precious with our older decks for fear of wearing them out? Morgan Greer. No.
I don't know, because I use them in every possible way anyway.
Yeah, probably I've got like a couple of old decks that I probably would never use. But nothing. This is the Bonfire Tarot Gale, that one. Bonefire. Yeah, I'm not too fussy about my decks, Janine. You?
I should be more, but yeah, I don't treat them as carefully as I usually say like a Virgo would. You know, we'll put them out in alphabetical order and like in protective bags and everything.
Oh no.
No, but it's because I see them like friends. And Claire, something that you can do your cards, if you've got a question about how you use them, ask your deck. That's something I do. And my photographic decks, I've got 2 big photographic decks, and it's the Gift of Life Tarot and I think the Ghetto Tarot. And I can't really use them for readings for other people. And when I asked them questions, you know, how can I use you? Can I mix you with my other decks? And they said, absolutely not. We like to be left on our own. So I'm like, all right, okay, don't mess about with these.
I agree, because there's decks I have. I've got the Gift of Life, by the way. There's decks.
I'm in that deck.
You are?
In the moon card, yeah. I don't think she realised till later on, and I sent her an email and I said thanks for that, because it shows shows a group of people doing a ritual up in the Standing Stones in Keswick.
That's right, yeah.
That's me, the one with the back to the camera. She's a
Oh,
photographer.
wow.
Yeah, so you know, I've got like a big curly ponytail. That's me, and then my
Oh, that's
daughter.
look now. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
have to.
yeah.
Yeah, I've got two there actually
Oh,
because
have you?
Alice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Alice
me in the
is
moon
like
card.
because I did an interview with Alice a couple of years ago,
Oh,
and sent me a signed copy for doing the interview.
yeah.
And I also won a copy as well, because I am a fan, and I know this is a bit controversial in the community, but I have always been a huge fan of the Get Up Tarot, by the same artist, and I just love it. It's just so beautiful. I don't know whether you've got it, Janine. Do you have it?
Yeah, and Alice got a lot of stick for that as well. But you know, she answered all the questions, and she came back beautifully. You know.
Yeah, because I interviewed her over. I
Yeah.
interviewed her because of that deck, because she got the gift of life coming out. And I know that some people have been pretty mean to her in the community. And I says, come on live with me. And I says, to tell your side of the story. And I thought,
She's a
oh,
photographer. Yeah.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
an amazing photographer.
Mm-hmm.
So those are two of my special decks, that I never read for anyone with either. It's strange, isn't it?
Yeah, because I asked them. I remember asking them, and they said, "Don't you dare." I can't even remember what the card was I pulled for it, but they said, "No, don't mix us with any other decks. We won't have any of that.
Yeah.
None of that riffraff, please."
And there's another deck that
Yeah.
I've had for a few years as well. That's just I've never used it for anyone, just for personal use for myself, and that's the Sun Tarot by Butler. Uh, yeah, that's one of my decks that I'd never use for anybody else either.
I'm trying to think if there's any. I've got some decks that I struggle to use. Is the Alice in Wonderland Tarot by Barbara Moore. I love it. It's bright, it's colourful, it's fun, but and it's not because I'm serious with my decks either. It's just I can't seem to get into it for some reason.
Yeah, I have trouble connecting with some decks as well. I mean,
Yeah.
I use Tarot by Chris Ann, which I love.
Mm.
I love collage art. But you know what killed it for me? Landscape cards. I can't.
Landscapes. Ah, I
I
don't got
can't.
any landscape decks.
There's the foot. I think it's the queens in the deck. Everything is portrait, and the queens have been.
Oh, I'm thinking you like the artistic style of landscapes, you know, like
No,
watercolor paintings in the
I
background.
can't.
Right, okay,
It's just
sorry.
something. I don't know whether it's my OCD. The same as I don't and can't.
Landscape,
Well, I won't. I refuse to read reversals. Always. And if my deck's got a card in it that's reversed, I will turn and just put it the right way around.
yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't. If anything's it's the Kings, yeah, that's right, Moran, yeah. No, rename the Muse, and it's a shame because I love the deck, yeah, but like I just can't read it because of the four Kings, the landscape cards, yeah. So that kind of put me off a bit, yeah.
Well, I got a lot of stick for putting the suffragettes in my in between tarot deck when it first came out, and people said that I was making it it wasn't many people, but the ones that did said I was making the tarot political.
Oh, well, I wonder what I think now, because every tarot deck that comes out is bloody political. I had this conversation with somebody the other day.
Ah, right, okay. Well, it wasn't about that. It was about because they were in the coins, and it's about the hard work ethic.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I use them for that element? It made perfect sense.
Wonder you want cancelled for that, you know.
Oh, people.
Cancel, Janine.
Cancel.
People always find a reason to complain. They will, you know.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, being a deck reviewer as well. Obviously, like I said behind the scenes, and I chat to creators, and like I have so many different conversations with different people. I mean, yourself included. And you'll never, no matter what you do, you will never, ever, ever be able to please everyone.
It's true. Yeah. That is true. And actually, that's probably the best bit of advice to give to somebody who's creating a deck.
Oh, yeah.
First time. You've got to be dead honest with them. Say, look, just go for it. Go for your vision, because you'll never please everybody, no matter how hard you try.
No, you
Yeah.
know, I mean, I did mention there was a deck. There is a deck out now, a mass market deck. And the creator sadly has tried to please everyone, and the deck's just a hot mess. You know, and I'm thinking, well, this hasn't come from that person's heart. You know, it's come because obviously it's box ticking, and I've always said, like you have, you know, do what you want to do. You know, you can't please people all the time. You know, not everybody's going to like your work. There's always going to be, even if 98 people love it, there's always that 2% that are going to say, "Oh, hi, that work's terrible" and stuff. So what? You know,
You've got
it
to
don't matter.
develop a thick skin as well,
You
haven't
have,
you?
yeah, you have, because there is
That's something else, yeah.
that is true, because I have seen, you know, some people being bashed terribly in
Mm.
the community because they either didn't do this or they should have done that. And it's a shame, because at the end of the day, it's a person behind the card who's created the card.
Yeah.
Obviously, having people who are creators, friends who are creators, I know how much hard work goes into the deck.
Mm.
And, you know, sometimes it takes years. And, you know, and if you can, like, if you've got a deck in front of you that's took somebody years and somebody said, "Oh, this is crap, this is crap, this is crap, this is crap," your world will be falling apart.
It
You know,
does, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But it happens,
Hmm.
and you know that is like the internet for you, you know, and that's the way it'll always be.
Yeah,
If anybody is listening who is creating a deck, even though I'm not a deck creator, just do what you want to do. You know, if you know, if people love your work, they'll buy it.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that you need to make decisions on publishing and self-publishing as well.
yeah,
But if you're going with a publisher, you tend to get a little less reign to do everything that you want to do with your
yeah.
deck, because they'll put certain limits and boundaries on you, depending on who you're with. It's not always the case. But if you're self-publishing, it's obviously more money, but you've got more free reign to do what you want with your deck, because
You have.
there's nobody telling you no.
Yeah, I think that's why a
Yeah.
lot of people go the indie route, because they can do what they want. Because I have heard a few horror stories about like indie then to mass market, you know,
Mm.
and because of you know the limited money you get, and you know your rights to your work and things like
Yeah.
that, you know. So I think it's if you're prepared to give everything up, that's fine in it, you know. But
Read the contracts.
read
Yeah, and
small
double read
print.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right.
Oh gosh.
I mean, look what happened to who was it recently? She put a post up. MJ Cullinane, you know, who did the Crow Tarot.
Yeah, but I didn't read the post.
Oh, she put it on her Instagram. It was a
Yeah.
lap deck, I think, that was, she got some copies of it left, and Hayes had said, "Look, you've got to pull these down and contract it to us now."
That's a difficulty, isn't it?
Yeah,
If you were self-published and then you go published and you've still got stock, they are very funny about you
Dave.
selling backs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now the guy
Yeah.
beyond Siri, what's his name? The guy on the Earth and Bone Oracle. That was an indie deck.
Yeah.
He'd just gone to Rockpool,
Right.
and he kind of had to do the same. He had to kind of get rid of his existing stock.
It will have been in the contract.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that you can't do that.
But no,
But it takes people by surprise, doesn't it?
it
Yeah.
does, yeah. Because this is what we're saying. Always read small print, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's just everybody, like, and as I said, Janine, you know, backtracking, everybody, you know, who I kind of engage with, who I've made friends with offline through Instagram and YouTube. It's an incredible journey, and I think it'll always be a journey, because there'll always be tarot cards.
What do you think of the AI tarot generated cards
I
now?
think Pauline, um,
Not
I think it's
one.
very, very, very clever,
Mhm.
you know, and I think we're going to see a lot more of it
Yes, it's the future, isn't it?
in
I think.
the future. But having friends who are artists and knowing how hard they work, and not having any credit for the work,
Mm.
it's just awful. Because to me, it's stolen artwork. You know, if people can prove where the artwork's from, fair enough, but they can't. And you know, we've got the AI to contend with now in the community. We've also got the knockoff decks to contend with in the community. You know, I know somebody whose business has been totally destroyed through, you know, companies like AliExpress and the others, just completely, like, you know, took their work and put the deck up for like £2. You know what I mean?
It happened with Tarot and Tequila. With
Yeah,
Jay, we put the entire tarot deck up on Kickstarter,
yeah,
and you couldn't put anything in the comments or the messages because it was just set up that way. So people were pledging
yeah,
for for a Kickstarter for a deck that's already been produced.
yeah, exactly.
Shocking.
And
Yeah,
it is the theft now, you know, the AI said, like, and you've got all this, like, you know, the counterfeit decks as well. And, you know, there's just, we never thought, like, as a community, we'd be kind of up against this, I don't think. You know, I think it's took everybody's by surprise. Um, and as you said about that last one, Jane, it was awful. You know, just taking somebody else's work and putting it on Kickstarter.
yeah. And then our accounts get cloned as well. So
Yeah,
it's not happened to me for ages. It was happening to me on like 3 times a week basis one point. But maybe I blocked enough of them, that they got fed up. But
yeah,
they take your posts and
they
like,
do.
regurgitate it.
That was awful a few years ago, and that all started during COVID as well. Like, you know,
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
yeah. But like, I mean, I think now that, you know, people have got to take a certain amount of responsibility, well, for themselves, to
Mm,
think, hang on, this person ain't Martin, this person ain't Janine. They would never send me a message like that anyway. I mean,
yeah.
it's sad that it happens to people. Anybody who you know, who gets for money or anything, it's just awful. There has been, you know, we've got Nova who did Tarot Scammers
Yeah.
account, and worked tirelessly for the last 3 years.
Oh wow! What an amazing job.
Yeah, and you know, to kind of expose the, you know, the fraudulent accounts. Apparently they're trouble loading your live. Who's that? Is that Janine? You know him?
Um, my this live that we're doing now.
I don't know.
I'm not sure what you mean by that because I think everybody else can see us, hear us okay.
Oh, yeah, maybe you're in a connection then. I don't know.
It
But this,
might not be a connection issue.
yeah, well, like, this is what I think. This is what, like, we have to all contend with, and kind of like, just got to be a little bit more vigilant than we used to
Yeah,
be.
absolutely. Oh, I heard an interesting thing about the AI artwork because if you put the keywords in for what you need, I was told that it's an intelligent system which generates what you need without scanning the web and picking off.
Right?
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So it's hard for me to get my head around how that works. But that was the explanation I got for how it works, rather than it going and picking apart other people's artwork. But then I'm not sure. Maybe that's different with different AI
I
sites.
No, I mean, I know there's apps, but I think there's actually programs. I don't know. I've never kind of like
Mm,
messed around with it really. I have seen decks done, obviously by AI on Kickstarter, and I've also seen that deck done by, what's his name, Marcus Katz.
Oh, with the new one that's
The
coming
new
out, an Oracle deck, isn't it?
thing. So the last one or this one, I don't know.
I
I
know which one you mean. Yeah,
Yeah, and you know, it's
everlasting
it's
deck.
difficult to tell. You know,
Mm,
it's sometimes it is
mm,
difficult to tell
yeah.
between an AI image and a digital image.
Well, do you know what the length of time? Perhaps because it took my dad, who's a graphic artist, a whole year to do the one that we were working on.
Yeah,
It wasn't something that he could do very quickly because it's time consuming and you're
yeah,
using different programs and different layers and everything.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and that Claire said, when you review a deck, if it has a mega thick guidebook, do you read every page? Oh, we're going to say something different, but
Hell
it's that.
no.
Hell no. That's your
Oh,
answer.
Claire, are you insane? I'm not actually no Claire, right? So
I know Claire. She's
yeah,
lovely.
I'll
Yeah,
read that. You know, I'll read the introduction. If the introduction's juicy enough to read out, I will do that. And
yeah.
I'll always say there's a content and flick through it, and then like the acknowledgements at the back. You know, imagine, like, you know, you're reading like you know, the Thoth guidebook to the, you know, to the Thoth Tarot or something. No, no, I will, like, but you know, going back to guidebooks and stuff. I mean, I don't know. Like, sometimes I think them unnecessary now as well. You know, but I do actually dislike a PDF guidebook. I must get that one in. I'm not a fan at all.
So you is it a code that you scan on the deck or something like that? So that takes you
But
straight into.
yeah, take you to the, or they'll send you one via email when you've, a link via email when you've like kind of bought the.
Right. Because
But
mine get lost if that happens. They just get
well,
lost in
I
my
don't
ton of
carry.
emails.
I see. I don't want to keep looking at a guidebook. I'm old school. I like to flick through a book.
Yeah, and get coffee stains on it. Come
Yeah.
on.
I don't want to like scroll through my iPad and what the page number is, and you know what I
I'm
mean.
the same. Yeah.
Yeah, so I do think it's nice sometimes to keep things pretty much old school. I do like a nice book you can curl up with
Yeah.
sometimes. But like, I mean, if the deck's a theme deck, I will read the guidebook. But if it's just another Rider-Waite Smith clone, I won't read the guidebook because there's no point, is there?
No,
Yeah.
so you've not got lots of big piles of books with those little coloured tabs, everywhere and notes and everything.
No,
No, I'm the same.
no, I haven't. Because the guidebooks that Llewellyn always put in their
Yeah.
decks. Some of the it depends who it's been written by. I was a little bit disappointed with, Janine, did you buy the Yule Tarot by Chris Hughes?
I saw that advertised on your channel actually. I think it was you and Levi were
It
talking.
was,
No, it was Longman Tarot. I think.
well, it's
I can't remember now.
absolutely lovely,
Yeah,
really whimsical and
I
sweet.
never got it.
And Christopher Hughes is like obviously a druid in the UK, and he's really not knowledgeable. But the guidebook was a complete letdown.
Is it Chris's? Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
know that
yeah.
one. Oh, you're right.
And I thought, I don't know whether he's like they told him to like edit it out, and because I thought there was going to be a lot more traditional information.
Right.
It's not really, and I just thought, oh, that's a shame, really. But I'm going to review that actually.
His Celtic Tarot is got a great book with it.
I could imagine it. Yeah,
He's got a fantastic book
yeah.
with that one, and he signed it for me as well. I was
Yeah.
proper fangirling as well. Like,
Oh,
hey,
I might pick
sign
up because tomorrow I'm going to the Mind Body Spirit convention fair, whatever event at Birmingham NEC, and I am meeting with Lisa Lister.
Yeah.
Lisa is just the best. Lisa has done the books and decks and everything like that. So I'm so excited to meet up with Lisa tomorrow. I'm going with my friend. So if anybody's coming and you spot me, don't run in the opposite direction. Come and say come and say hello, right? Because I'm not that unapproachable. I just want to, I'd love to see somebody from the community, or and I'll probably got a price out for me. Do you know that's what it is?
But is it not the case, right? If you see somebody from the tarot community and out and about, and this has not happened yet, but I know because I feel like I know everybody really well,
Yeah.
I will probably be the one that runs across the street and jumps on them and
Well, yeah.
they go,
Stalker.
who's this woman?
Yeah.
I don't know this woman other than online. I would be terrifying.
Oh yeah, Mark. Who is Mark? Great Bears World. Mark says I'm there tomorrow. I'll say if I see you.
Hey, excellent. Oh, he's going.
Yeah.
So,
hi Levi. So yeah,
hi, Levi.
anybody who's going, I've never been to one before.
Yeah, take money. They're expensive.
Is it really?
Well, it's just there's so many things that last time I went, I had my aura photographed, and there's always the crystal stands. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, but yeah, as you say about money. So
yeah.
I'm looking for, I'll probably come back with a deck or three. And be doing a video next week saying, why TF did I buy this deck at the
Oh, we'll do a live when you're there. You could just do a little bit of
I could do actually.
Yeah.
You go take some photos from my friend Linda. Linda Hill from Red Sea Tarot.
I don't know her. No.
Linda's lovely, and she publisher's got a stand there. So I might do a live actually from there. Like a reporter. You know what I mean?
You should definitely do that.
Live from Birmingham NEC. That would, wouldn't it? Yeah, I might do that actually, Janine. Just like, you know. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it, and I hope I bump into somebody I know. So it'd be nice, grab a coffee and a chat, and yeah, so that's lovely.
Oh, good. Oh, and I wish I could come. I just
I wish you could come as well. And my
yeah,
friend Cheryl from this Emporium, she can't make it either.
I've not got any money at the moment, so like travel's out of the question.
It's credit cards, Janine. It's just
I've never had a credit card, you know.
max that bugger up. That's what you've got
I'm
to do.
scared of credit cards. They scare the life out of me.
They're coming useful for these kind of events. They're coming useful for things. And when I go shopping with Levi in London, yeah, when you get, you're in Watkins, just overwhelmed by everything.
Yeah, and then you buy way too much.
You do, yeah, which always happens. Yeah, but yeah, it is what it is. And I'm just glad that, it's just so lovely that you invited me on tonight. We always have giggles, don't we?
Yeah, I missed you, and thank you so much. I hope you all enjoyed. Gosh, an hour's gone really fast. I just noticed. Has anyone got any questions for Martyn before we go? It can be about
Everybody knows me, I think, on here, don't they? Yeah, there's a couple of people I ain't seen before.
Yeah.
But most people know me.
But if you don't, please tell them where they can follow you, where they can find you on YouTube as well.
You follow me at Tarot in the City over on YouTube, which is Martyn's Music. It's the same as my Instagram.
Yeah.
If you contact me for anything, you can click the link in my bio, which gives you my email address. And yeah, and I look forward to seeing you all on mine. Thank you always for everybody who comes on mine and Levi's lives as well. We do truly appreciate you. And we're going to get you on, Janine, one day.
Ooh, amazing. On a witching and bitching.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, we will actually, yeah.
Wow.
We do like sometimes have guests and stuff, and we ain't had a guest for ages now, so I think it's about time we figured something out, and
Ooh,
we can have a laugh and of course a bitch, so
yeah. Oh, good. Yeah. I need to laugh and giggle at the moment. That's great.
Yeah, don't we all, and it's coming a dreadful long winter as well, so it's what we could always do with cheering up in it.
I refuse to put the heating on. I'm just surrounded by blankets.
Ain't you cold? I'm freezing.
Nope, the heating doesn't go on till December.
Oh my God,
No, it does when I've got guests and when my family comes round, because I pretend that it's on all the time, but then when I'm on my own,
if I watch this now, I'm going to know, right?
Yeah, the only thing that's happening with my tarot card decks is they're disintegrating because they're so cold. They're actually just...
Yeah. I've been round your house for a cup of tea, then you can bugger off.
I'll put the heating on before you come and pretend like it's always like this.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you for having me. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I will tag you and everything in the video when it goes up on the TABI site, and so everybody can find you afterwards. And yeah, thank you so much. Have a lovely weekend as well.
You too. Bye, Janine. Bye, guys.
Bye everybody. Thank you.